My really fucked up infidelity story. My infidelity story is somewhat unique, as initially AP and I were involved in a poly relationship that turned toxic. And AP were the original couple. I requested that I did not want to be a secret third. Came out to his family about my involvement with them, but AP said she was scared to come out to her family out of fear they would disown her for being bi. AP was also struggling with her own feelings about the relationship, and told both of us that seeing and I happy together made her want to kill herself. I left and AP and moved out at that point because I did not want to be involved in a poly dynamic where one of the partners was threatening to kill herself, but claimed he was prepared to leave AP to make the relationship with me work. I trusted him to take the steps he needed to in fixing her wrecked van first that he had promised to fix and telling her to find alternative living arrangements, but he dragged his feet on doing so for a month and a half, and I finally confronted AP directly about what was going on. She said she was under the impression they were reconciling and he had only told her she needed to move out a couple of days prior when she told him to stop seeing me. I was furious of being led on to believe that he was making serious efforts to cut ties with AP when he was actually just leading us both on at the same time, but I also empathized that him and AP had a prior relationship that he was leaving from and she was guilting him over it. So when he seemed genuinely sincere and apologetic about this and promised to never lie to me or omit truths again, I believed him. Fast forward a month later. He had kicked her out of his house at this point, and while I was uneasy about everything that had happened and triggered often, I only asked to see his phone once when we initially decided to reconcile. He told me that he was committed to working this out with me, that if he and I didn't work out he was going to stay solo and work on himself. How I found out about the second breach of trust was him showing me videos on TikTok, and I saw that she messaged him on the app and asked him about his continued casual contact with AP that I was not privy to. I then asked to see his chat logs, and everything prior to a couple of days ago had been deleted. He claims he deleted the chat logs because it was so upsetting to see her guilt-tripping messages, but yet was still sending funny shit to her back and forth on TikTok. Honestly, this should have been the end of it because I had already given him a chance and he broke my trust yet again. I broke it off with him and we didn't have much contact for a few weeks. I went on vacation and got in a car wreck after we were talking on the phone the night before, and he admitted to inviting AP over to hook up after I had broken up with him over the deleted chat logs, but claimed he figured out the feelings just weren't there with her like they were with me. I was really vulnerable and fucked up after the car wreck and ended up attempting reconciliation yet again, this time with open phone policy and counseling being terms of reconciliation. AP was still attempting to reach out to him, but he didn't entertain her anymore. Then a few days later she ended up changing her FB status to in a relationship with a MTF woman, which fucking hurt, as her whole rationale for not wanting to come out of the closet about our poly relationship was because she hadn't come out as bi to her family as she was worried they would disown her. To my it showed him that because she was trying to get him back just a few days prior that she was willing to drop this new person like they were nothing if her attempts to get him back had worked. It's been a little over a month and I've had a lot of nightmares and triggered moments that have taken a toll on my mental health. About the meme. Sent this meme to his long-term female friend that depicts a pacifier, lollipop, popsicle, and cock that reads, "Shish, it's okay, you've been preparing for this your whole life," and doesn't see anything wrong with it. It's just a meme. It's just funny. I don't see it that way. I don't mind him having female friends, but this interaction was triggering to me. He claims this long-term female friend and him have never been on that level, but also had previously told me that this female friend had said, "Just break it off with them and come fuck me instead," when he was going back and forth between me and AP. Seems to think that me going through his phone and finding memes like this sent to female friends is me looking for evidence to stay mad about. Doesn't seem like is invested in doing the work to reconcile. He had initially agreed to an open phone policy, but every time I have asked to see his phone, which is not on a daily or even weekly basis, he gets really grouchy about it and turns it into a pity party about how it reminds him that I don't trust him. Because of this behavior, I looked at his phone while he was sleeping to get the reassurance I needed while avoiding an argument, and he now is holding this over my head. His therapist also says that open phone policies are toxic but gave no suggestions on any other ways to rebuild trust. I agreed to not covertly look at it again and to ask to see it instead, but an open phone policy is part of our terms of reconciliation, and if he's going to shame me every time I openly seek reassurance, I don't see reconciliation working out. Blaming everyone else but yourself. You started this whole relationship in the wrong way. You were the mistress and now you are the official, means your old place is vacant. Well, not really, since you already know he is fucking his ex and probably some of these friends too. Just throw the whole thing away. Work on yourself and try to be a better person from now on. Not mature enough to handle one relationship with two people in it. So they think they can throw a third person in the mix and it will be all great with the extra sex dimensions, but forgetting you now have three immature minds deciding what is best for each other. Now that is a typical fucked up infidelity story. To me, this looks like you were the AP and you were totally fine with destroying a couple's relationship and him abandoning his actual partner for you, then got mad when you realized he was playing you both. All three of them sound immature and exhausting. Read your post. Read it over and over until you figure out why you shouldn't be with this guy, but I guess, love, makes people do stupid things like get into miserable relationships and cling to them as if the world had nothing else to offer.